Okay, it is Tuesday, November 19th, 2024. The time is 6 p.m. This is a regular meeting of the Westport School Committee. If we could stand for pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What is it called?
Okay, under Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 20F, this meeting is being recorded. We'll first entertain comments and statements from the public. Seeing none, we'll move on to our informational agenda. We'll start with our student representatives.
You guys have to share today, I'm sorry.
All right, good evening to Superintendent Aubin, all school committee members, and everyone else in attendance this evening. First, on Friday, November 8th, the middle school hosted their annual Veterans Day ceremony. Thanksgiving break is quickly approaching, and there will be an early release day on Wednesday, November 27th, and no school will be held on Thursday and Friday, November 28th and 29th. The Middle School Student Council is running a food and family fun drive through December 12th. Unopened canned foods and unwrapped toys will be collected and donated. Their Spirit Week will also be next week. They'll be performing acts of kindness throughout the next couple of days by making thank you notes for faculty and staff, sticky notes of kindness for the student body, and making morning greetings for the students in the middle and high school. Winter sports registration is now open this winter, and we are offering middle school boys and girls basketball. Here's a little shameless plug. This holiday season, the sophomore class is running a Giving Tree fundraiser, and you can buy an ornament to go on the tree. $5 will be split amongst the sophomore class and the food bank, and please contribute to this amazing fundraiser to help those in need. And I hope everyone here has a good Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Ryan, appreciate it. Well done.
Good evening, Superintendent Aubin, members of the school committee, and all in attendance tonight. First off, I would just like to start off with some important dates. Wednesday, November 27th is an early release day for all high school students. And there is no school on Thursday, November 28th, and Friday, November 29th. I would also like to point out that our high school students had a blast this past Friday at Westport's annual homecoming dance held at the Whites of Westport. And lastly, we would like to congratulate our senior class as they begin to acquire acceptances to various colleges and universities. Now, some news about clubs around the school. This is a reminder to all students in the senior class to order their senior sweatshirts. All orders and payments are due by tomorrow, Wednesday, November 20th. Additionally, this is a reminder to all high school students to help support their classes for this year's pep rally by buying class t-shirts. All orders are due by Tuesday, November 26th, and all shirts cost $12. Payments are due to Mrs. Avila. Steele has been busy at work this past week as our student leaders volunteer their time this past Saturday at the WYAA soccer banquet and yesterday at the Westport Food Pantry, where they sorted goods that were collected during their annual food drive. Lastly, the Medical Club is holding their annual blood drive this Friday, November 22nd, from 2:15 to 6:30 p.m. in the Westport Middle School High School Gymnasium. Now for some news about sports. Our Wildcat fall sports teams all had fantastic years, with every sport reaching some level of the state tournament. The girls' varsity field hockey team finished their season 10-5-3 and lost in the first round of the state tournament in a close game to Nantucket. The girls' varsity volleyball team finished their season with a solid record of 10-10 and lost in their first round of the state tournament in another close matchup with Sutton. JV volleyball had an impressive season as well. They finished 17-1. Boys varsity soccer finished their season 13-4-3, making it to the second round of the MIAA Division IV Boys State Tournament. The JV boys had a fantastic season, and they finished their year with a perfect record of 14-0. The girls varsity soccer team finished their season with a record of 13-2-3, making it to the second round of the state tournament for the very first time ever. Lastly, I would like to point out that winter sports registrations are now open until November 26th. Sports being offered this year are boys and girls basketball, co-op ice hockey, co-op swim and dive, and cheerleading. Go Wildcats.
Thank you very much. And,
Thank you, Jack.
Jack and Ryan, just to echo some of the things that you brought up, our teams had a great season this year, so it was great to see them play. And our Veterans Day ceremonies were also great to be in attendance for. I was at both the middle school and the Maccumbers ceremonies, and they did a great job, so I'm thankful for all the students and staff that helped put that together for our veterans. So thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Keen Brothers. Have a good day.
Have a nice Thanksgiving.
Have a nice
You
week,
too.
guys, too.
Can I give it to you? She's gonna. I just
No, absolutely.
Pass it, I'll just keep passing it. We're not gonna let you have
And
it for long.
Representative Schmid, if you wouldn't mind, could you join us at the table over here?
I'd be happy to. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So next on our agenda, we will be recognizing State Representative Paul Schmid, who has served the town of Westport and the 8th Bristol District since 2010 in the State House. He will be retiring. He decided not to seek re-election this cycle, so in January, his term will expire. So we wanted to recognize Representative Schmid for both his service to the district and our town, and for his advocacy and support for our schools over the years. Just to give a few examples here, so since FY '22, Representative Schmid has helped secure $660,000 in support for our school district. In FY '22, he supported an earmark that supported $150,000 installation of heating and air-conditioned ventilation units at the Macumber School. In FY '23, $410,000 in Z-Space computers and software at the middle high school. And in FY '24, $100,000 HVAC and AC mini-split project at the Macumber School. And I've had the privilege of working with Representative Schmid on the elementary school council as well. And on a personal note also, Representative Schmid and I sought the same seat in a couple of election cycles, and I certainly appreciate your willingness to work with me on advocacy for this district and your support and commitment to our town and strengthen our community. So I wanted to thank you for that. Are there any comments from the committee?
I'd say thank you for everything you've done, and, we've done at different levels here at the college and the high school and the town level, so thank you.
I'll have to echo the thanks, absolutely.
So I'd just like to say thank you for all that you've done. One of the things that I think is really important is you've made me feel personally comfortable in just talking to you. You are someone who is just willing to have a conversation. When I first ran for school committee, you spoke to me about it and offered some words of wisdom, which were incredibly helpful. More than I can say. And just modeling the behavior that you do inspires me and inspires others. So I am very grateful for all that you've done for our community, for other communities, and for myself. So thank you, sincerely.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you've done, obviously, for our town, our students, and our school district. Truly appreciate it.
And if I may.
will say, we also have a great team in Representative Schmid and Senator Rodericks, who the district also has open communication with. So again, just on the communication front, I know you've always been accessible to both myself and the superintendent and others here, so I want to thank you for that.
Yeah, if I may, again, it's exactly what you're speaking about, Chair Gendro, is the fact that there wasn't a time I didn't email or call Representative Schmid and he didn't get back to us. And I think that is a real credit, considering how busy you people are. Driving up to Boston and, in the traffic and all that, and we really appreciate your continued support of our mission, and I'm going to miss you. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to miss you.
I have something to say, too. So, lucky enough, Westport, we've been very fortunate that Paul has been such a supporter of our farm to school program here in Westport. Right from the day one, he would text me and say, what do you need from me? What is it that I can do for you? He always shows up. He always attends. You'll see him with his boots on every place he goes, whether he just came from taking care of his cows or wherever he is, he always shows up. Boy Scout breakfasts, you name it, Paul's always there. So I think, unfortunately, funerals, all of that, you see Paul every place we go. And so I think, as far as not even just being for the town, but I think as a family man, a community, a member of this community, and just, you're like one of us, so I think it's important that someone like you, blends in with all of us, but yet you have such this high role with us. So, we appreciate everything you've done. I appreciate everything that you've done, and just getting, knowing you, I have your text still, so I can still reach out.
And Michelle, just to echo that, I was remiss in not mentioning Farm to School, which has been a real winner for the district, I think. Our lunch program has received a number of compliments, both in the community and from other districts, so appreciate your work on that. Representative Schmidt, is there anything that you would like to say?
Well, thank you very much, Chair Gendro, committee members, Tom, Michelle. It has been a very great honor to serve Westport for the past 14 years. And I know I'm going to wake up on January 1st and say, damn, that was a bad idea. And it's been particularly an honor to work for the schools, because as I've often said, what's more important? And I'm delighted that I was able to work with Senator Rodrick and obtain the funds for this new building. And it's wonderful how you maintain it. Thank you very much to all the folks who work hard keeping it clean. But the work that I've done is really nothing compared to what you, Superintendent, Michelle, the team, the committee have done for our schools, for our kids. And it's really remarkable, the progress that you have made. And I know that you will continue to make that progress and continue to make all of us feel so proud of our Westport schools. And I'm just going to put in a little plug for Michelle, because as chair of the Committee on Agriculture, it's sort of my responsibility to speak up for our farming and fishing families all around the state. And I can't tell you what a difference it makes for our farming community here in Westport and all around to have their local institutions supporting what they do. So thank you for the effort that you all put into everything, and most particularly to providing local healthy food to our kids. So I reflect your comments right back at you and say thank you very much to the leadership and to every teacher and administrator and staff member who has been part of this very great success story.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Representative Schmidt. And on behalf of the committee, we would like to present you with a token of our
Oh, my goodness.
appreciation.
Oh, God.
Go to the front here of the, we'll just go over to the
Oh,
front.
fine, whatever, I'll follow you.
Yeah.
Thank you. If the committee would like to gather for a picture, Representative Schmidt, we will present this to you
Well,
as a token of our appreciation.
how very thoughtful, naughty, naughty of you to do this. But I accept it with gratitude. Thank you very much.
Appreciate that, Representative Schmidt. And we'll get the committee together for a
Very good.
picture.
Right in here.
Want to make sure you look good, Chris. We didn't want you to be. I just took a few.
Perfect.
Well, thank
Mr.
you.
Alden,
Thank you
would you
very
like
much.
to
I'll
get in?
treasure this and keep up the good work. That's all I can say.
Appreciate that.
Get in there, Mr. Morgan. Let's go.
I got a face for radio. I'm on a band.
We do have a box with it also, so you can do have a
Box also.
You want to take a
That
picture
would
with
be
me
very
first?
nice.
Oh, I'll be honored.
Should do one of the.
I got that one.
Oh, no,
But I
you
can
did
take it
not.
out, Don't worry. Okay.
You guys are the best.
You know, we're going to miss you, sir.
Yes.
But you're not gonna go away. You're
I'm
gonna,
still here, and
you're
you
still
know,
here.
He's going
yeah,
nowhere.
we're gonna keep pushing, and one of these days we'll increase the reimbursement rate for special ed kids and all the other things that are so slow coming, but we keep pushing for it.
Thank you so
You know,
much.
Paul, we will have some openings on the school committee. If January comes and you're like, I really miss
He's
it.
speechless.
You know, my wife might get very cross with me.
Then just kidding.
Thank you again, Representative.
Take
Thank you,
care.
Representative
thank
Schmidt.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We certainly look forward to continuing to work with the delegation to provide support for our students and families and our town going forward, so.
Absolutely.
All right, if the committee is agreeable also, I see Carrie Moreau is here, so we can take item G out of order. Thank you very much for joining us, and I apologize, I was hoping to make it to a meeting prior to coming here, but I hope to make it to one of the CPAC meetings in the near future. Just to give a quick update before, so I did speak with Wendy Miranda and Nancy Tavares here. The district did apply for the communication boards for the playground from the Flutie Foundation. Those are on a rolling basis, so we should be hearing by the first is when they're reviewed, so we should be hearing sometime after that, so.
All right, well, good evening, and thank you for allowing me this time to present to you from the Westport Special Education Parent Advisory Council and sharing what we have been working on. It's been over a year since I've been here, so it's been a busy year. For those who may not know, I am Carrie Morrow, a mother to 2 students in the Westport schools and a former graduate of the Westport Community Schools. I am the chair of the growing CPAC organization, along with our other board members, Rachel Lambauer, Kate Gendro, and Tanya Quinlan. We have several dedicated families that also attend our monthly meetings and offer their helping hands. The CPAC is passionate about Westport developing a truly inclusive, supportive, and successful atmosphere for all the students. This remained the focus of the PAC organization while also providing resources and support to families. So first, I would like to thank the school committee for their support with getting Westport's first unified sports team to the district. As the magic was witnessed, I'm sure, on those front fields, I have to say the Wildcats blew it out of the water with their first season and set the bar very high. So thank you for all your support with that. Hearing feedback from families of all the participants was great. Families of students with disabilities have shed many happy tears and emotions as they witnessed their children being accepted and participating in a sports team. Families have shared the importance and impact this team has had on their students being noticed by their peers, excitement and engagement in an activity, and more importantly, the proud smiles and thoughts that their child has shared or expressed for their accomplishments. The impact on the students without disabilities has also been great. Families with students who were unified partners have shared equal gratitude for the team and the opportunities it has opened for their children. Being a leader on a team and finding a way to help and participate with all of your teammates is a true skill for future leaders and successes. Parents of unified partners have expressed how this opportunity has created more compassion and understanding for their peers. It has also helped students find their passion and spark some future career thoughts for exploration from some of the students. Getting unified sports teams was a process and one I am glad the school community has stuck with and seen through and will hopefully continue to grow and develop. Over the last year, here are some other things the CPAC has focused on. We've partnered with PTO events to ensure accommodations are available for all students to enjoy. For example, we had noise-canceling headphones at the Whiz Kids game, along with a CPAC information table. We also had a sensory play adapted area at the Mud Run to allow students of all abilities to participate in the well-known event in town. We've been meeting with the special education coordinators, superintendent, and school committee members to discuss topics brought forth at our CPAC meetings. We've taken on the process of becoming a nonprofit, and as of last month, we are officially accepted as a nonprofit
Yay.
organization. We have worked with school leadership and school committee to bring unified sports and activities to the district. We have funded some programs in the Westport community and schools, including the Unified Bocce team, nursing staff for the West Unified track and field activities, and startup supplies for the cafe at the Westport High School. We've continued to meet monthly throughout the school year and provided trainings for families about the IEP process. We've partnered with the special education coordinators to assist with their review from DESE last year. We've partnered with the special ed coordinators to provide support and training to families as the state transitioned to the new IEP this year. We've had information tables at all open houses and some goals for this next year. We're hoping to help continue to grow the unified sports and activities at the schools to future seasons and more schools. We are hoping to find a way to work with leadership in the school committee to get our youngest Wildcats part of this program. Inclusion is taught through how it is modeled and the importance that the school community puts on it. Finding a way to help foster this model from such a young age is key and will feed all programs in the future. We're hoping to continue our partnership with the special education coordinators, superintendent, and the school committee members. And we continue to hope to provide training that is meaningful to our families on topics of their interest. So as I say at every CPAC meeting, I have big goals, and sometimes I need to be taken down, but they are important for so many families and students in the Westport schools that it is important we all continue to work together to accomplish them. I appreciate this opportunity to share with the CPAC, share what the CPAC has been doing, along with a chance to collaborate with the school committee and hear some of your visions or areas that CPAC could assist the Westport Community Schools. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just want to thank you for your advocacy. It's great to see the CPAC grow, and I had the pleasure of attending the Unified Games, and it was great to see that, and that, we were able to support that as a district, so I want to thank you for that and your efforts there. Anything from the committee on this?
I have to say, the bocce, that attended the second game, didn't make it in time, came up there right as the first one was ending, but the second game, the atmosphere was fantastic between the pep band being involved and the parents and many staff members coming out to watch it as well. It was certainly a great thing, and I'm very happy to hear that the whole thing has gone smoothly, and also, as you say, definitely has put a high bar up for going forward, and I want to thank you, the committee as well, but the CPAC committee as well, but you especially for the work you've done to make this happen.
Absolutely.
It's really cool to see and to be a part of, and I've had a opportunity to attend a couple meetings now, and it's the level of engagement is wonderful to see. It's something that's always needed, and I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next as far as any additional unified sports down the road, or we'll see. But I again, just thank you for all your efforts. It's wonderful to be
It's
part
come
of.
a long way, huh?
It has. It's been a process, but it's been a rewarding one. So I thank you guys for the support in that.
Thank you for your efforts.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Looking forward to continuing to work together. And for the public also, for anyone who wants to get involved, or for committee members also, when is the next meeting date?
So we meet the second Thursday of every month at the Westport Library, so I believe it's the 12th of December, if I'm remembering correctly, but maybe the calendar could help us with that.
Yep, 12.
So we meet at the Westport Public Library, starting at 6:30 on the second Thursdays of every month.
And one more important question. Do you have enough volunteers for the pies?
So we sorted those yesterday.
You
We
did, okay,
sorted
it was all-
almost
okay, excellent.
1,050 pies. And we did it in under 45 minutes with all of our help.
I'm impressed.
We had no major issues, except once we sorted everything, there were 15 cases of pie still sitting on the wall. So we were a little unsure, but thankfully it was just an error in the shipment to us and not an error on our part. So I think it went very well, and that definitely has helped us be ready to help fund some more inclusive activities this year. So
So do you have extra pies you're selling?
I believe Tanya has a few.
So who should
Just because
people
we
reach out
ordered a few
to?
extra.
If people are interested in pies, should they reach out to
Yeah, you can
anybody?
send an email to the Westport CPAC email address, and we do have some. Yeah.
Okay.
But not 15 cases, thankfully. We returned those quickly. So thank you.
Thank you.
Else from the committee?
Thank you.
We look forward to having you back at a meeting in the near future.
Yeah, anytime.
So we appreciate your, advocacy again. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Happy Thanksgiving, Carrie.
You too, thank you.
Okay, back to item C, the superintendent's report, Mr. Robbins.
Sure. Good evening. On November the 6th, the Department of Elementary in Secondary Education put out a FAQ in regards to question 2 that was on the ballot and the impact that will have going forward on MCAS testing and any of the laws pertaining to MCAS. So I just wanted to share with the committee a couple of, I think, salient points. The new law, which will take effect, the earliest it will take effect is December the 5th. Now, we had scheduled MCAS tests, well, not we had, we scheduled MCAS tests in English Language Arts and Mathematics for makeups. And we had those students take them because, you know, based on the unknown here, we didn't want to put the kids in a position not to have that test retake. So, you know, not knowing where the state was going with this, they did take the math and the English Language Arts. So that's taken care of. Students will still need a competency determination, and that has not gone away. But the difference is that the competency determination will not be based on both the qualifying scores of MCAS in science, math, and English, but it will, and the local requirements, but now it'll be the local requirements that will drive the acquisition of a diploma. For those who achieved a competency or passed the MCAS for, you know, brevity's sake, nothing has changed. As long as they take care of their local requirements, they will get their diploma. That's relatively self-explanatory. However, the students who have not earned their competency determination, based on the law that was passed at the election, those students will have to satisfactorily complete a coursework, the local coursework, but it will not obviously be impacted by the MCAS at this point.
That'll be for this coming
The
graduation.
earliest will be December 5th, but once that law goes into effect, it is my understanding that students who did not meet the criteria score for a competency determination based on the MCAS will still be able to get a diploma as long as they take care of their local requirements. I will also add to that I will be meeting with the Old Colony superintendents on Thursday, and having spoken to a superintendent this week, there still is a little bit of confusion about what's going to happen. So I think it is going to be a very hot topic coming up. I had Mrs. Mello and myself attended the commissioner's call, which was, I believe, last week. Not any more than what I've provided for you today. So as things develop, I will continue to let you know. With that in mind, I do want to make it clear to the people in Westport that we are committed to accountability in terms of both students and staff and performance. So we are already working towards the benchmarks that we think will move the needle. We are mildly concerned for some of us old-timers who were here. Back when the MCAS test was not a high-stakes test, there was some struggle getting students to perform the way we would want them to perform on that. So we know that we're marching into uncharted territory, and we will continue to advocate for what's best for the district and our community.
Two quick questions, which I understand the answers may not be forthcoming yet, just because we don't know, right? But
Understood.
so you said there were retakes
In November.
in November. So theoretically, if those scores come back and anyone who has not yet been determined to reach the level of competency, if they have passed those, will that count towards that?
If they passed it or they didn't pass it,
Either
once
way,
the
it'll-
law comes into effect, it is the local requirements that will drive the acquisition.
So in theory, even if they passed it, it might not.
Right, if they
Well,
don't satisfy the local requirements.
So the
Okay,
Abigail
okay.
Adams Award disappears too?
Again, these are
These are the-
these are going to be questions that have to be resolved going forward. I think the department, and I'm not being critical of them, no, this is, you know, once you get, legislation by fiat, it becomes very challenging in terms of controlling all of the laws of unintended consequences that go with that. So this is going to be really something that we're going to have to keep an eye on.
Well, now they have free college education, that's where a lot of those kids went into, so, I mean, free community college, so that will be a help in that point.
It will. However, there are limits to the income requirements to access that, I believe. And I think that could be a challenge as well, because I believe for UMass, I believe it's 75,000, if I'm not mistaken.
75.
Yeah.
75
As a
I thought
household
77.
As a household income, right. So we're not going to probably have a ton of students, but hey, look, some is better than none. It's progress, and we'll recognize that.
All of the local requirements could be, for graduation, could be found in the handbook.
Right, they're in the handbook, all of the requirements. And again, we follow Mass Common Core, so, that's not going to change at this point.
Anything else for the superintendent?
Thank you very much.
1,001 more questions
They're coming.
as things.
And I will tell you that as developments take place, I'll do my best to keep the committee in the loop, because this is going to be a very complex happening, for lack of a better term. Thank you.
All right, item D, committee liaison reports. There was a meeting of the audit committee on October 28th that I attended. There was discussion around a certified free cash number, which came in at 3.5 million. There was also discussion around the new legislation for tax title foreclosure auctions, the FY '24 audit, which is planned to be completed by the end of the year. The town also signed a 3-year engagement with the auditor, and the next meeting of that committee will be in early February, so I'll keep the committee posted on that for the next meeting. The Long-Term Building Committee has a meeting tomorrow, the 20th at 5 PM at Town Hall, and the School Building Committee is meeting on the 21st, which is Thursday at 7 PM at the middle high school. Who's next? Who wants to go next?
So I have no reports from any of the committees where I'm a liaison. I would add about the Long-Term Building Committee. The meeting will be to interview 2 architectural firms that responded to the RFP for evaluating municipal buildings. So the good news is that does seem to be progressing quick enough. So we should have some news to report after this meeting. But other than that, no other reports from additional committees.
Thank you.
I've never had a committee contact me yet, so there's no reports.
So, the CIPC, am I saying that right? Okay, reached out, or they sent a message to me indicating that they're meeting this Thursday at, I want to say 7 o'clock?
I think 4 PM.
4, no, 4. Yes, it's 4. I don't know why I said 7. I think I looked at the clock. At 4 PM. The problem is, I can't attend. I'm not going to be able to, and Thursdays is a really bad day for me. They kind of set the meeting and just like let the members know. I mean, maybe they talked about it amongst themselves, but they just kind of sent the notification to me, which unfortunately, that's a really bad day for me. So I mentioned this to Evan, and I think it might be better to have another member of the school committee be on the committee, because I think it's imperative that we have a member of the school committee there, and I don't want us not to be represented because I can't attend the meeting. So I wanted to bring it to the committee to see if anybody is interested in being on the committee. I would be happy to do like a joint representative if possible, if needed, so I wanted to kind of mention that because I think it falls under committee liaison reports, and mention it to the chair and see what the rest of the committee thinks, if someone's interested in being on that, or.
So, process-wise, I think because it's a town committee, the select board, I believe, would have to vote on any member that's being added, in addition to a vote of the school committee. So they would have to, the select board would have to take a vote on an appointee from the school committee's nomination, and that person would then have to be sworn in. The select board isn't, I think their next meeting is usually on Mondays, so they just had one last night, so it'll be in a couple of weeks.
So when we appointed me, did they vote on it?
They typically do, yeah. They vote on all of the, if we're serving as a liaison to a town committee, the select board votes in June or July on usually a long list of names that includes
Okay.
liaisons from other committees.
Okay, so then how do we want to proceed moving forward? What do we want to do? Do we want to remove me from the committee? Do we want to,
If it's a Thursday at 4, I can't, I'm still in school.
For this week, I planned on attending anyway, just obviously as a member of the public. I wouldn't be a voting member if I were there. I can certainly speak to the committee during their comment section, but I wouldn't have a vote. But I did plan on attending regardless, for this week at least, so.
okay. So I did send an email, and they did say that that it was okay to not be at this meeting, but
Okay.
I'm concerned with the fact of what the agenda is, because you had sent that.
Yeah, the agenda does include schools on the posting for this week, so.
Right, and
They could skip over it and reschedule a date. So I'm
So-
not sure if they had reached out to do that.
so here's typically what happens in the meetings is each of the different town departments come in and they talk about what their needs are, and then the committee itself talks about it and asks questions, and then they don't decide then and there like what they're going to fund, but they kind of like typically, I mean, I don't know, maybe it'll be a different process this year, but typically then they kind of begin to identify what's going to be funded or what they're going to bring forth to be funded. So, yeah. So is there anybody on the committee who would be interested in being on the CPIC?
Like I said, if it's 4 on Thursdays, I can't, because I'm still in school for a while. I wouldn't be able to get there. But if it's a late, like 6 o'clock, I could.
I mean, I would be
I'm not available at 4
I would be willing to do it. We can't take action tonight on it.
Right, right.
But,
Yeah.
No,
I
I'm
mean,
just,
I would certainly be willing. We just can't take action today.
okay. Yeah, I just wanted to gauge from everybody, because my thoughts are is I'll also email the committee again and say that
Okay,
if that's going to be the case, then we might have to switch
You're
people.
gonna
Yeah,
You'll find out,
if they
yeah.
can schedule something, even if it's a separate presentation for the school department, when, that works with your schedule, that would be, if they can accommodate that, then that would.
It's not even just about the school department, though. So while I get that it's important for me to be on to hear about the school department, my role in the committee is town-wide. Do you know what I mean?
Right, yeah,
Like,
sure.
so, I don't know, I take it as, yes, the school is important, but it's also important to hear what the other departments have to say. I'm kind of sad that I'm not going to be there on Thursday, but I can't be. So, that's it.
I know, I appreciate you bringing that to our attention.
You can see on when you go Thursday.
Yeah, I'll be attending,
Feelers
so
out.
I can certainly ask. there
Right, like what is
yeah.
their guidance for that? Because
Yeah.
you mentioned that everybody can do Thursday, but Thursdays and Fridays are just not always, they're typically not good for me. And especially at
Sure.
4, I mean, I work full-time, and so it's hard to consistently get there for a 4 o'clock. So, thank you.
Yeah, I can inquire about that. Yeah, thank you.
Um,
Mr. Chief,
I haven't had any new meetings since our last school committee meeting.
thank you. Okay, item E are staff and student attendance reports. Any comments from the committee on this?
Sorry.
I'll just ask, Mr. Superintendent, I didn't see any particularly concerning trends. Is there anything that you guys are watching at this point?
No, I'm
From
not,
staff or-
and I've been a little bit grateful because, in speaking with some of the health people, some things are ticking up again, RSV and other respiratory illnesses, so no, I mean, and again, when you can see from the data, when you pass out the long-term people with illness, I think it's pretty impressive, actually.
I found since you've been doing this, it's gotten better on the attendance. 'Cause now it's like accountability, they can actually, now it's a form of accountability.
I for one appreciate the data.
Well, I mean, everyone has a right to it,
Yeah.
and I keep reminding people that the DESE, part of their strategic goals is getting students into school. as often as possible. So, you know, this is all part of, you know, kids come to school when they buy into their teachers, you know, and if the teachers are here, then that's more motivation for the kids to come in. And so that's really important when you look at it. So, of course, we get the holidays coming up. I'm hoping that we can still, you know, remember that until we let go, we have school and kids have a right to an education, so.
No, the rate looks pretty consistent, so certainly grateful for that.
Credit to the staff.
I have one, I'm kind of curious. So I know there was a handbook change regarding the length of time that would count for a day to be able to participate in extracurricular activities or sports. Just anecdotally, any kind of pushback or any issues that have come from that, or does it seem like that implementation is?
No, I mean,
smooth enough?
it's recognized, you know, throughout other districts, in order to participate, you need to be in school. And again, this is part of us trying to do everything we can to get and keep our kids in school, because, you know, obviously, as a matter of fact, at the DESE hearing yesterday, there was a superintendent from a vocational school said that, you know, if the kids aren't in, they can't learn welding. Well, they also can't learn physics and chem and anything else for that matter. So we believe that attendance is important everywhere, not just.
It struck me as a very good change in the handbook, so I'm glad to hear that it's
Thank you.
going very well. All right, excellent.
Okay. Item F, Westport Community Schools bill warrants dated 11/1/24, $226,860.58, and 11/15/24, $273,931.38. From my review, it looked pretty routine, nothing out of the ordinary that I came across, so are you comfortable with reading on that?
Probably sick of me asking about it, but any resolution from the Eversource situation? That's still.
So, not on Eversource, to my knowledge. I know there is going to be follow-up on that, forthcoming. Well, I guess we could schedule this as a future item, but, because I don't want to, it's not listed on the agenda, but I can discuss the old building at a future meeting. But,
Understood.
yeah. But that is still ongoing in our.
Still ongoing, all right.
Yes. We are waiting for, the last my understanding was from the town is that we're waiting on Eversource on that, so. Not a resolution quite yet, but we're waiting.
Understood.
And just so you know, we have,
Melissa is keeping an eye on it.
yeah, and we are in direct contact with the utility company to let them know, so.
Understood. Well, I'll apologize in advance for asking about it next
Please
week.
don't.
But thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item H, opioid settlement funds advisory committee. So just to give the committee a quick update, the organizational meeting of that committee will take place on December 10th. The select board approved Laura Charrette's appointment to that position at one of their recent meetings, so she'll be our representative there.
And if I may, she was sworn in, so
She was, yeah.
she was sworn in, so she's good to go.
Right. And I don't have anything else, I just wanted to give the committee update. So, item I, memorandum of agreement with the Westport Federation of Teachers. So, tonight the committee approved an executive session, 2 MOAs subject to union ratification with a couple of amendments. One is on the stipends for clubs and athletics, and the other is on evaluation language and rubrics. So, subject to amendments that were approved by the committee, the union will hold a vote on that and discuss the membership, and then we will go from there. So that's the update on memoranda. Is there anything from the committee on this? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to our action agenda. Item A, review and act on school committee special meeting minutes of Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024, and the school committee work session minutes of Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
A second.
Okay, motion made and seconded to accept the minutes. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Item B, review and act on the following grants from the Westport Education Foundation $505 math counts, the Westport Middle School Math Club, $3,380 for Shrek Junior, the Westport Middle School Drama Club, $1,300 Wildcat Newspaper, Westport Middle High School, $3,000 Virtual Math Support Program, Westport Middle High School.
I make a motion to approve the grants from the Westport Education Foundation.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Any discussion?
I'd just like to thank the Westport Education Foundation for all these tremendous grants that provide additional resources to our students. We talked about the budget earlier, and the Westport Education Foundation has been such an integral part of our school district in funding these really great programs. So just thank you.
And just along that same note, thank you to the Westport Education Foundation for supporting our programs here at the school that benefit our students. Thank you for everything. Okay, motion has been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Item C, review and act on the revised 2024-2025 school year calendar. So I believe this adjusts the senior date, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct. It does. It moves it up a little bit, and it does still align with the law saying that students have to be in school 12 days prior to graduation. So Principal Charette double-checked that. I trust her math. And so that, it will also, again, allow our seniors to start their life after Westport, which, it's very competitive out there, and there's a lot to do. And I think for those of you who have had children going to college or starting work, you know what I'm talking about. So I think it's a win-win if we, I would ask the committee's support for that.
Make a motion to approve the school committee calendar.
I'll second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Any further discussion?
I do have a brief discussion item. So I just want to clarify, the approval of this calendar doesn't, this calendar could still be amended going forward, is that correct?
Yeah, all it would take is a good storm.
Well, of course, okay, and or my very specific, there has been continued talk about consolidating the voting precincts in Westport to a single location, and there has been talk about utilizing the school facilities here for that combined precinct. And I know that logistically speaking, it would necessitate that it either be a school day or a no school day or a professional day, perhaps, just from sheer logistics. So that looking at probably, I believe it's the second, is it the second Tuesday in April? Or second or third Tuesday in April? Or the first?
Was it second? Didn't we look at that? It was second.
It may well be, it may well
Or
be.
April
So-
1st. It was, fell on April Fool's Day.
Because it's the first
Right,
Tuesday, so it
that's
would
the
be the
first.
first this year. So basically, with the caveat, I'm certainly going to vote to approve this as is right now. But if the town clerk were to want to move or to consolidate those precincts in time for the town election, that's something that could be adjusted. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
we've talked about that, we've met about that, look, if it saves the town money and creates efficiencies, we're all for it. It was a few years back where we realized that it's really not a good idea to have school when there's voting going on.
Of course. Yeah.
And so we always schedule professional development on that day, so,
So it would not be an issue to adjust that, should the request come within a decent time frame.
easy for me to say, but no, it wouldn't be a problem.
Okay, fair enough, all right. Excellent. All right, thank you.
If it does come to that, though, can we have a discussion about it? Because I have some thoughts about that, but it's not
Yeah,
on the agenda, so I don't
all
wanna
kidding
discuss
aside,
it.
I don't think it's gonna be an issue. We're, one of the things that I'm very proud of is when we've had to, for lack of a better term, shuck and jive, we've done it very well, and that's a real credit to, and I'll call it right out, Mrs. Willett, who handles all of the outside, she's the liaison for everything outside, and she's done a spectacular job with it, so, do you agree with that,
I
Michelle?
agree.
Yep, so,
Yeah, I can
Absolutely.
talk
Thank
to
you.
the clerk and we can add that to a future agenda item.
Okay,
thank you.
thank you.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Item D, review and act on the following out-of-state field trips. Hamilton Musical, Providence Performing Arts Center, Providence, Rhode Island, December 2024, Westport Middle High School. Providence Bruins, Amica Mutual Pavilion, Providence, Rhode Island, January 2025, Westport Middle High School. Rhode Island Philharmonic Concert, Veterans Memorial Auditorium, Providence, Rhode Island, May 2025, Westport Elementary School.
Make a motion to approve the out-of-state field trips as listed previously.
I'll second.
Okay, motion made second, any discussion? Is there anything special we should know about these?
Yeah, like, can we go to Hamilton?
Great
Well,
opportunity.
You mean as a chaperone, right?
I would be a chaperone.
I just say, so the pep band's been invited to perform at the Providence Bruins game, so
That's
that's,
awesome.
yeah.
It really is
That's
something.
awesome.
It is, and it's a real credit. I mean, everybody who has been to an event here knows the pep band is legit.
Well, And as a matter of fact, I believe the pep band was in attendance at the Veterans Day ceremony.
Yeah,
at
did a great
the,
job.
At the Town Hall Annex earlier, and that was, they did a great job.
They did.
So,
Thank you for recognizing
their
them.
efforts,
Thank you.
All right, anything further? All right, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous.
Excuse me, my socks.
Okay, routine matters, correspondences and notices. I have nothing. Topics Chair can reasonably anticipate 48 hours in advance of the meeting. I have nothing there. With that being said, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Motion made second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.